It's getting to the point where I almost hate going to the store. Whenever I go in, there's at least something that's more expensive than it was the last time that I looked at it, and that's just frustrating. That being said, though, there are still several preparedness related items that you can pick up for under 10 bucks, and they cover a wide range of needs from food to medicine and even survival gear. And today I'm going to go over 10 of those items, and the ones that I picked for this video aren't obvious things like band-aids or bags of rice. I tried to go a little bit deeper and find at least a few items that folks tend to overlook. First up, we have coffee filters, and you can get a package of these for around $2. And probably the main use for these, at least for, prepper, survival type stuff, is going to be as a pre-filter to remove sediment and larger debris from water that you find from natural sources before you run it through like a Sawyer, a Grail, Berkey, whatever the case may be. Because, things like sediment, they can clog up those filters, and using one of these beforehand will help extend their lifespan, and it's going to do so probably a lot better than a bandana would be, just because the fibers are a lot closer together. Then another kind of prepper related use for it would be a very lightweight disposable bowl out in the field if you want to distribute food, or even if you're just gathering things like berries, that aren't going to kill you if you eat them. Then you can use that as something to eat out of, something to gather food, and then once you're done, you can throw it in the fire, and that's not going to be a problem at all. And also, these are very good dry tinder if you need to use them for emergency fire starting. Then kind of just a good general use for them around the house is to put things like baking soda into. If your fridge is smelly, we had to do that a while back. And having that baking soda kind of more exposed to the air instead of in a box with maybe just the lid open is going to allow that baking soda to absorb those odors a lot more effectively. Next, we have Povidone Iodine, and the cost for this has gone up a lot over the past few years, but you can still get it for right under $10. The first use for Povidone Iodine is going to be as an antiseptic. This is less prone to damaging tissue than things like isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen peroxide are, so this is very good for especially smaller wounds if you're wanting to disinfect them before you put a bandage on. Also, I think it is at least marginally effective against things, like fungal infections. Although for those, you definitely want to have the right cream for the job because that'll kill that stuff a whole lot faster. But you can also use this stuff as an emergency water disinfectant. It'd be way better just to use regular iodine rather than Povidone iodine. But in an emergency, you can use it for water disinfection if you need to, although I wouldn't do that long term. It would just be in a pinch and then, stop doing that as soon as you can. But you do want to avoid using this if you have things like thyroid conditions, if you're pregnant, and of course, if you have some sort of iodine allergy. After that is vinyl or aquarium tubing, and you can get a few feet of this for anywhere between $3 and $6, just depending on how much you get. And the main use for that is just going to be different kinds of liquid transfer. Say you get a siphon pump. Most of the time, that is going to come with a little bit of tubing for each side, but it's really not a whole lot. Maybe you have to reach down a little bit further. Having a few feet of aquarium tubing could help you do that. Also, let's say you have some water barrels. Maybe you didn't buy a pump for that, or the pump that you had broke down. Then you can use siphoning action to pull that water out of that barrel a whole lot easier, than trying to tip it over and let it pour out. Then for our next item, we have bouillon cubes or powder, and you can get that for between $2 and $6, just depending on the size. And there's two main reasons why you want to make sure that you have plenty of this in your prepper pantry. First off, it has a very high salt content. In addition to helping it last pretty much indefinitely if you store it the right way, that high salt content also makes it very valuable for replacing those minerals when you lose them through things like sweating. Of course, you don't want to go crazy if you have high blood pressure or anything like that, but your body still does need salt. And then also, it's going to make your food taste a whole lot better than it would otherwise. Things like dry beans, dry rice, pasta. They don't really have a whole lot of flavor just by themselves, and even the flavor that they do have is going to get very old very fast if you're just eating the same plain Jane non-seasoned food day after day. This is going to help with that a lot. You have different varieties. You have chicken bouillon, you have beef bouillon, and swapping between them can make a very big difference between, putting some variety and additional taste in your diet. And making sure that you have food that you and your family will actually want to eat is just one thing that my new course, the 30-Day Prepper Pantry, walks you through. It also shows you exactly what to buy and how much, recipes to use, and how to cook everything, along with the instructions that you'll need to do all of that off-grid. We've extended the introductory price of $37 until midnight on July 5th, and you can get that using the links in the description and the pinned comment down below. After that, we have different kinds of electrolyte powder. The commercial versions can be up to around $9, but it can be a lot cheaper if you make your own. And this stuff is very important in these summer months that a lot of us are in right now, where maybe you're outside working or, just exercising, hiking, whatever the case may be. Because when you're sweating a lot, you're losing a lot more than just water. I kind of talked about that with the bouillon, but this will help you replace all of that stuff. Now, this is liquid IV, and it's pretty darn expensive. This is just under $9 for 8 sticks. And if you're not wanting to pay that much for something like that, then you can do other things, like you can get Gatorade, although that does have a higher sugar content, but you can also make your own. And to do that, you just mix 1 liter of clean water with 6 level teaspoons of sugar and half a level teaspoon of salt. And having drinks with a little bit of flavor can also be good for morale. A lot of us have gotten used to that sort of thing. And if you have kids who don't really like to just drink water by themselves, maybe they fight you on it, then having some sort of electrolyte mix, that isn't just like straight sugar like Kool-Aid would be, that could be very beneficial for them. I'm kind of blessed in that sense. My kid, he actually doesn't really like flavored stuff. Like, he's totally disgusted by sodas. But if your kid is the opposite of that, then having some sort of drink mix is definitely a good idea. Next up, we have unwaxed dental floss, and you can get this for starting around $4. And you can use dental floss for a lot of different things. First off, it is very strong cordage in a very, very small package. Like, this little box here, I think, has 4 yards in it, which, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's probably not going to be as strong as, something like 550 paracord would be, but for tasks where you don't need quite that level of strength, and you would actually be better served with something a little bit thinner, then, I mean, this is pretty much going to be ideal. I mean, for, sewing, repairs on gear, also even fishing line or snare line, there's not going to be a whole lot of things that's going to be as strong and as lightweight and also as easy to use as this will be. And then, of course, you can also use it for what it was intended for dental hygiene. If you have something stuck in your teeth, using clean dental floss is going to be a much better option than trying to jam some dirty stick up in there. You'll end up with an infection, and then, your survival situation got a million times worse just with that. So this stuff, it's cheap. You can get a lot of it in a very small package, and it does a whole lot of different things. Then our next item is super glue, and you can get name brand Loctite glue for around $4 a bottle. And like with the dental floss, this stuff, it can be used for emergency repairs on gear. If you have maybe the sole of your shoe starts to come loose, you could probably use some of this on that to, get it closed up until you can get back to where you need to be. And, I do hear people mention using this to close up small, shallow cuts. And, if you can get it cleaned out really, really well, and it's not, too deep or too large or anything like that, that can work, but you want to be very careful when you're doing that, because if there's anything trapped inside of there as far as, germs, dirt, anything like that, then you could end up with a much bigger problem on your hands if that wound gets infected. One story that I always like to bring up when I talk about, the whole super glue wound closure thing is I had a friend who was on a mission trip in Africa several years ago, and they were using dirt bikes to get around. He fell off his bike, bunged his arm up real bad, and the guys that he was with had the idea of dumping hand sanitizer into it was a pretty large wound from what I understand, dumping hand sanitizer in there and then closing the whole thing up with super glue. That was a very bad move. First off, there was still a bunch of junk inside of that wound, probably at the time that it was closed, and then also, since it was larger, there was more of a chance for, dead tissue to become trapped in there and then, start festering. And surprise, surprise, it became infected, and by some miracle, by the grace of God, they found a doctor who told them that if they would have shown up basically a day later, he might have lost his arm. So if you're going to do that with super glue, be very careful with it. But, for just gear repair and things like that, of course, this can be very useful. And then also, you can probably find more heavy-duty stuff like epoxy for around $10, maybe a little bit less also. Stuff like JB Weld. Up next, we have Petroleum Jelly, and you can get this stuff for around $1 to $4, just once again, depending on the brand and how much of it you buy. And it's a great multi-use item. First off, you can use it to protect, cracked skin, minor scrapes, things like that. If you get Neosporin, triple antibiotic ointment, a lot of that is actually just this stuff with a little bit of medicine put into it. It basically just forms a protective barrier on your skin and keeps other junk from getting inside of it. And then, I'm sure most of y'all are aware, you can use this stuff and cotton balls to create probably one of the best and most low-cost emergency fire starters out there. Basically, you just put some petroleum jelly or some Vaseline inside of a plastic bag, put some cotton balls in there, mix it all together, and then, you're good to go. You can keep it in that bag sealed in emergency kits, bring it out when you need it, pull the fibers apart, strike it with a ferro rod, and it starts extremely reliably. You don't even have to be that skilled with a ferro rod to get one of those to light. It's just a very good hack to know. The one thing that a lot of people kind of forget about is that petroleum jelly can also be used to protect your tools. So just like it can form a protective barrier over your skin if you have like cracked knuckles, it can also form a protective barrier over metal to prevent it from coming into contact with moisture. So if, you need to protect tools out in your garage, out in the shed, then this is a very good low-cost way to do that if you don't have, some sort of spray that you can use. Then we have sort of a prepper specialty item, and that's a small Rite in the Rain pad, and I found this one at Walmart this morning for $5. Good thing about these Rite in the Rain pads is, like the name suggests, if they get wet or anything like that, you can still write on it using either a pencil or one of their, specialty pens that they sell now. The pens, they're kind of expensive. They're like $15 a pop, but these little pads, just one of them by itself was like, I think $4.96, and I didn't even know that Walmart sold these. I think that was a recent thing. But they're very nice if you need to take notes out in the field. Maybe your phone poops the bed, you can't use that for notes anymore, or you need to leave breadcrumbs. So if you're going on a trail, you can write, we left at this time on this date, so that if, a park ranger comes by and it's been like 2 days, and you also wrote your anticipated return time and it's, way past that, then they know that you probably need help and your car just isn't, sitting there gathering dust while you're out there dying. So lots of cool uses for these, and they're cheap enough to have in pretty much every survival kit and every vehicle that you got. Then finally, we have Heirloom Seeds, and you can get packets of these online for around $3 or $4 each. And the good thing about these is that they give you a renewable food source. All of this other stuff, once you use it up, it's gone. With these, though, you can plant the seeds this year, grow your crop, harvest the fruit, save yourself some seeds, and then you have part of what you need to start your garden next year. And the good thing about these heirloom seeds is that they actually grow true to type, meaning that if you plant everything the right way, you can take these Chadwick cherry tomato seeds, and you're going to have Chadwick cherry tomato plants next year and the year after that. If you just go and buy a plant at Lowe's, it may say, it's a cherry tomato plant, but it could be some sort of hybrid, and when you collect the seeds from it, it may not be the same plant that you had to begin with. You might also, have issues with it setting fruit or the fruit being a little bit weird, but with these, you know exactly what you're getting. And also, there's so many different varieties that you can really pick out the stuff that's going to work best for where you live. Now, if you want to see a list of cheap prepper items that solve really expensive problems, then click here. Or if you want to see how to keep your food cold without a generator, then click here. Thank y'all for stopping by. Y'all have a good one.